Delaney Burns, born 29th of November 2001, is an English rugby union player. She plays for Bristol Bears women and the England women's national rugby union team.
If I'd asked a 13-year-old Delaney what her Wikipedia page would be about one day, why she would be famous, what do you think she'd have wanted?
She would definitely have wanted it to be for this reason. She'd be very excited to know, like, she wouldn't believe it actually happened, but she would definitely, that would be the dream. That or a footballer. I couldn't tell at the time what I wanted to be, but as soon as rugby came about, I was pretty set on it.
When did you learn to love being in the second row? And is it the contact that excites you? I hear a lot of people talk about your line-out acumen. Is that a puzzle that you enjoy solving?
Yes, I think my favourite part is the line-out. I'm a bit of a line-out loser.
Official term.
Yeah, in fact, exactly, it's official title here. I spend a lot of time looking at line-outs, like working through. Anytime we do a unit session, he says we're doing something else, I get a bit upset about it because all I want to do is do line-outs. And I've started actually really appreciating a scrum now. I used to hate scrummaging, but now that I actually know how to do it, I definitely appreciate a scrum a little bit more, like the techniques of it and stuff like that.
And you play alongside one of the greatest to ever do it in a Red Roses jersey when it comes to the line-out, in Abbie Ward. How influential has she been? Oh,
massive, yeah. Like when I sat down with Dave at the start of the season, he said Abbie was injured at the time, and he sat me down and said he wants me to look at calling the line-out. I had a lot to learn, obviously. I had not really done it that much before. But yeah, I spent a lot of time, like every Monday with Abbie, we'll sit down and have a chat about what line-outs would look good for the opposition we're about to face and try and rep those out in the week. So yeah, she's been a massive help. Yeah, it definitely was an exciting opportunity when Dave said that, because I was like, oh, I get to be a leader, which was quite nice. And then yeah, it's just been taken off really.
Let's stick with the Ward theme. So Abbie's been a massive hand on your shoulder and influence on your career, but Dave Ward arrived last season and just turned things on their heads at Bristol Bears. Do you think he's at the crux of the fact that you were suddenly semi-finalists for the first time?
Oh yeah, I think he's had a massive impact on us. Like obviously you can't forget the facilities, but I think we could have still made the top 4 semi-final even if we were still stuck at Shaftesbury Park doing what we were doing with Dave there. I think just the way he coaches us, the way he wants us to play, it really suits everyone on pitch. He's got a very clear passion for it. I've never met anyone who loves rugby the way that Dave does, so it definitely you know, ricochets onto us a lot of the time. So
Dave Ward plus these facilities plus the amount of cake that I've just seen in your cafeteria, how easy was it to sign that contract extension?
Oh, without a doubt. If I honestly would have signed it for 5 years if he had brought a cake in, but no, it was so easy. Not a single part of me thought I was gonna look at another club anytime soon. I'm really really happy with how this season's gone for me and just how it's gone for us in general. And I couldn't see myself playing anywhere else really. We're not the only ones who've noticed the improvements, because Simon Middleton spotted them as well, and a very special call came this spring. Where were you when you got the news that you were going into Red Roses camp? And I imagine it's all a bit of a blur, but can you pick out just a couple of moments that stand out for you now you look back on them? Yeah, so I was actually, I remember quite well, so it was Sunday, the 19th of March, I believe, and it was at about 10:30. I get a message from Lewis Deacon, the forwards coach, just saying, like, hi, it's Lewis, do you have a chance to speak today? Now, when he messages you, you don't want to get your hopes up too early, but it's one of those ones where you're like, why else did he message me? And he was very, very calm, like he was incredibly calm about it. Said, hey, like, you know, if you're free tomorrow, fancy coming into camp, if you get the time off work. I was like, Lewis, I'd quit if they said no. Yes, I'll be there. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Yeah, it was an amazing experience, and just kind of stood in the kitchen, my housemates staring at me, just waiting to see what I've said. I was like, yeah, okay, bye. And then I was like, I'm going to England camp. I was so excited. Called my mum, called my granddad, called Holly. I literally just called as many people as I could, but also kept it pretty down low just in case, because I was like, oh, I don't want to go home, have nothing come of it, and then everyone know about it. But I did feel prepared. I spent the whole time prior to the whole thing saying, like, people were like, oh, you know, your time's next. Like, when do you like looking to get into the England step? I was like, oh, I wouldn't be ready for that. Like, it's too early for that. It's too early for me. It's not my time. It's definitely an environment you just have to go in and go straight away. There's not a lot of leeway for umming and ahhing, and I'm glad I did. I actually phoned. Abbie was nice enough to have a phone call with me while she was on holiday to go through the lineouts with me, and I'm glad I did, because the first session of the first day, Deeks was like, can you call a couple lineouts for me? And I was like, yes sir. So yeah, I'm really glad I went in very prepared, and I think that was one of the things that, you know, got me a little bit of respect in there, that I was so prepared going in.
Can you take us back to running out for your country?
Oh Matt, yeah, I actually, so the whole build-up I was like, I'm gonna cry, and to be fair, even during the national anthem I managed to keep my composure quite well. I played a full 80, which again, it was just, I was not expecting that. I was very nervous that I wasn't gonna be able to hear anything. I think that was my biggest fear, that I wasn't gonna be able to hear like Zoe's calls and stuff like that, but I think I just about got through it. And yeah, I thought I was very pleased with how I played. I was concerned that I was going to have a bit of a shocker being the first one, and really hoping that I put a good display on. But I think, yeah, it was definitely, I think it was my best game of the nations. And then yeah, it was only once we finished, I started to have a tear, and then did a couple interviews, which was, again, it was quite surreal. Kind of looked around for a second, was like, oh my god, this actually just happened. Like that final whistle going, I was like, this actually just happened. And then yeah, I got to my mum and just streamed. I was bawling. I was like, she was like, I'm so proud of you. I was like, oh, I'm crying. But yeah, it was a really intense day, but it was, yeah, one I won't forget.
Here we are. So you're going to be tour guide for the moment. Yeah. What is this all about?
So this is our Bears International Wall. So if you get capped whilst in being at HBC, you end up on this wall. And I was lucky enough to receive mine first day back, I believe, back at camp, and you get to hang up your own picture. Obviously for a lot of them, they were capped before coming here, so they just got laid out. But for me and Bryony King, we got to hang up our own photos. So,
how do you feel about your mugshot?
I could do with this little bit of being tucked behind my ear, but other than that, no, I'm actually quite happy. It turned out quite nicely.
It's lovely, and Dave was explaining to me earlier, these are left ups. There's always bare hooks, aren't there, to encourage other people to strive for jerseys.
Yeah, exactly. Like hopefully we'll be able to fill the rest of it, start moving over the window. But yeah, yeah, it was really nice to be able to do that, and obviously so much support from the girls. It's a bit uneven. There we go.
Straighten up, Bryony. It's amazing.
Yeah, to be on the wall with all the rest of them is incredible. I think that's the biggest part for me.
So, final thing I'm going to ask you, because you've got a yoga session to get to.
Yes.
Short term, I assume the goals are end this Prem 15 season on a high and push for that WXV squad.
Yep.
Is that the case? And then build on that for me. What's the long term goal?
Yeah, most definitely. We're very Bears focused now for the rest of the season. I want to get that done. Like I say, all the work-ons I was given for England, that's something massive. Like I'm going to have a very big pre-season. I'm very aware of that, but I'm excited for it. And then yeah, whatever I can do to be able to get into that World 15 squad. Like I know it's going to be a challenge, but I like a challenge, so I'm quite excited for it. Yeah, and then even if I don't, it's just another bit of motivation to keep cracking on. Long term, I want to be able to make this something like turn 3 into 30 and then 30 into 100 sort of thing, cap wise.
And all roads lead to 2025, right?
Exactly. Yes, that is mid-term goal. I want to be part of that squad, and how good it'd be to win a World Cup in in England, have everyone I know there. That's the dream for the minute.
Yeah. Abbie knows what I do. David. Here we go. So here we go, friends. Good.